All right, good morning. We are live December 21st, 2018. I am doing a Hellboy piece today, and I have my co-host Ron online with me again this morning.
Good
So
morning.
there's Ron. I still got a little bit more sketching to do on this before I go to uh, ink and color. So just join me in the process of letting me finish the drawing, and we'll just see how long it takes to. I think what I'm gonna do on this one is try to do I'll say a full color piece, even though it's a limited color on Hellboy. I got red and brown collar and a camel colorish type of rest of his jacket. So won't be a lot, but it should be interesting. I'm gonna try a new technique today where I'm gonna let my ink actually have some translucency to it. I know Hellboy is usually very stark black and white, but since I'm doing this more of a painterly technique, I think I'm gonna try to work some gray into the black if possible, so that when I put the color over it, it'll work together. We'll see how that works out. And we'll just hopefully there'll be some people filtering in the room, Ron, as I continue this. Get a little bigger audience than the few people yesterday, although I appreciate them coming in. I want to know how some of those people get those 100,000 following. I have no idea. That's beyond my scope of thought right now. But it would be nice. Well, especially if they were like real watchers. I'm sure some people subscribe to a YouTube channel and forget about it after a week or two, or they unsubscribe if content's not being put up. I know that's one thing I don't like is subscribing to a channel only to, not at least get a little something every week.
Well, you have not been losing followers.
No,
You gained one. You're at 114.
I did gain one. I noticed that. So, what did I? Oh, I put it on Instagram, thinking instead of my website link, I put my YouTube link. So maybe I picked somebody up from Instagram. I don't know. It's funny. It doesn't tell you really where you get your followers from, and only the people that have YouTube accounts does it show, like, who the person is. So I don't even know um, who subscribes unless they have a YouTube channel, and then it's you can see those, but other than that, it's all a mystery. So uh, anybody could be following me, and I would have no idea. You would think there'd be I'm sure YouTube knows. Google, I'm sure they know who's following me, but I don't know. I don't know who subscribed.
You
Very
have
few.
no
I,
idea. All right, good. So you don't know that I've not followed you.
that's right. I don't. I have no idea. But it is weird, isn't it? You would think that you would know that would, but maybe that's something they want to keep to themselves. Like I said, if the person themselves has a channel, it shows up, and um, other than that, it's a mystery. So, so be it. All right, I think I'm about ready to maybe, and I'm kind of gonna let this fall off. Like when I mean fall off, I mean like the color like fade to the bottom. I am gonna try to do this more of that. It started off with the Kingpin, more of a portrait style. Uh, like a true like painterly. At least that's the thought.
It's a good thought.
Yeah, like more of a this is a Hellboy sitting for a portrait or something. So we'll see. Can usually save any disaster. Usually. Most people can. I just like get disgusted and start it over 5 times. I think that Jared, he's probably home from. No, I bet he's working. He's his job is semi-government, so I think he's probably. I was gonna say he should be in here in these mornings, right? We should get him busy. Oh,
We need to get him busy.
that's right. Get him busy. That yard sale artist is getting lazy. You would think a yard sale artist should be humping it.
So Jared works for the government.
Semi.
We need to make him responsible for our budget then. We would not be in these problems.
I think the budget's always going to be in trouble. It's too far gone to pull out, right? But
Stephen just came in. He said, "Good morning. Last day of school before vacation. He does not have class now, and no, he doesn't give tests to make them watch. To watch, yeah. He must have went back and watched.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because my son's school, Wednesday was their last day. I have no idea. That seemed very odd to me that they had that much time.
We didn't have any hurricanes that really hit us or closed us down this year, did we?
No, but you know what? They had 2 hurricane days, and they used those. Monday was a teacher work day, and then Thursday, of course, being Thanksgiving, so they gave him the whole week off. So when we got back, because when I had to go to Washington D.C., he had to go with us because there was nobody that my mom can't watch him full time, and he's kind of one that wants to go with us. So I told his teacher he'd be gone all week. Now the funny thing is on that is it's an unexcused absence, and even though you tell the school and let them know that you're taking them out, they still call you. Like every day you get a call. It's like a recording that your kid is not in school. Now I know that's usually it's a good thing, because if your kid doesn't show up and you get a call and you don't know that he's not in, then you better go find him. But it's kind of annoying when you go let them know. And I'm sure it's an automated thing. Once they plug your kid in, it's like it's going to generate that call. So my wife was getting frustrated because they go to her phone, and every day she's like, "There's the school again." And she even called, and the lady was like, "Yes, ma'am. I know they're unexcused though, so you're going to get a call. It's it's like a robocall. There's nothing they can do about it." I'm going to run through. I'll probably do this twice. I'll do it at the start here real quick on what else has come this week before I get into inking Hellboy. So Monday we started off with the Emperor for Shannon. And what is it? Palpatine? Emperor Palpatine?
Yes.
Okay. And we had the next day for Shannon, Darth Vader. I was beginning to think I had the red. It almost could have been a like red theme week, because I had the red going on here in the Emperor, and I could have probably put like a red in the lenses or something of Vader.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't, and this is like white paint now, so I can't. And then I used a real this Kingpin I really like, It just makes me laugh, and it's right from reference off of the internet, but I recreated it, and it's not exactly the same. The smile is a bit different and stuff, but it has a certain charm about it. This one.
Now, you added some digital color to that when you posted it, though, didn't you?
No, basically what I do is like, you can see my brush strokes and stuff. And when you scan it, you see you see how it's getting a little bit of reflection now.
Mm-hmm.
When you scan stuff, it picks that up. Not, it might be shiny, or it might pick up the areas where you can see some tonal changes. So I go and I adjust the black. I try to make it more of a flat black, although I also will leave that kind of painted, brushy look in a little bit, because I don't want it to make it look like it's a digital type piece. So it's very faint. But yeah, I did saturate just a bit the red in here. I just adjusted it a touch.
Yeah, it almost looked like flesh tone colors.
Yeah, and believe me, when you see probably Sunday, Ron, if you get here, when you see the original, you'll see it is more pinky than what you're seeing on the. See, like when I tip it this way, it gets a lot more gray. Like you almost don't think there's any red up there, and I can't really. There's nothing. There it gets too. It gets blown out. But anyway, so you know, Kingpin, and then finally finished just this morning. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I went with the rain effect on the Daredevil piece.
Looks real good.
Yeah, it works out. And like you said, being in Florida yesterday where it rained all day, it definitely is a good theme piece for how that day was here in Florida, and how it might be today too. So, Daredevil, Kingpin, and the two for Shannon. So that brings us to today. And Stephen, I will get to your quick sketch symbiote Spider-Man. Yesterday, I had a phone call with my exec that went a little long, and didn't get to it. It got late in the day. Had to work on a website, and I might be able to catch up on that today. If not, don't worry. It is coming to you along with your. I think Steven bought. He's got some more of those sketches, so I got to get those, and I will wait till after Christmas to do a mailing. That's another one of my things. I hate trying to mail anything right now, although right now might be the best time. In one sense, the lines. No, the lines got to still be long. People are still mailing stuff; they don't care. But the delivery is what scares me. Is I think just like everybody, I think it depends on the person. I'm not going to paint with that broad a brush, no pun intended, but I do believe that you get people in all businesses and stuff that don't care about their work, and when there's a holiday around the corner, it's like, they slack off. What do you ever remember seeing that news story where they actually did see? I think it was in the Chicago area where people had not had mail for months.
No, I missed that.
This is quite a long time ago, though. And basically, what it was is some of the mail carriers were just dumping the mail, like not even delivering it. And so when people were getting called for, like, let's say a credit card bill or an auto loan or something, and they're like, "Well, I never got my bill." It's like, where, you know, And so there was this big investigation, and it turned out that some postal employees were just taking it upon themselves to not deliver mail.
I would be very upset.
Yeah, no, I agree. You get bills and stuff, and it's happened to me. If I don't get a statement, I will forget. Even though it's a monthly thing, I'll forget about it.
Steven says he doesn't mind being on hold for Mike's deck.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Since it is his design on that symbiote Spider-Man suit. So I am using, you'll like this, Ron. Since I want to do kind of this, let the ink wash, or let the ink kind of get some grays in it as I ink, and I will be watering it down also. I figured I would start with Black Magic, since it's already a nice dark gray anyway.
It is the gray.
Yeah, as the piece you showed me proved.
Maybe the paper played some into that.
Well, yeah, but ink should be black, right? Or you would think.
Should be.
So we'll see how this goes. But I'm hoping to use it to its I don't know if it's an advantage or disadvantage. In this piece, it's probably going to be an advantage. Anything else, disadvantage.
So what are you planning for the background right now?
Just you see that? Did you see that shape that I put in?
I did.
Just kind of maybe a big wash of, and I don't know if it's going to be a tonal thing or if it's going to be gray. So it might just be black too. Like a gray black.
Mm-hmm.
That will kind of be my kind of real solid black area. Although I don't, like I said, I'm going to try to keep the real, like how I would normally do Hellboy, like extreme blacks. There will be some on here, but when I get down into here, it's going to be more of a dark gray, because I want all of this to like just start going into the paper. See if I can pull that off or not. I don't know. It's kind of an experiment for me too. So that's why I'm kind of going in with stuff that I know I want definitely to be more of a linear hold, and then the other stuff is going to be, if it turns into a gray or lightest shade of gray and then I put color over it, then that'll be fine too. So we're getting experimental. Maybe some of those happy accidents or unhappy accidents will happen.
So I saw you posted on Twitter that, was it Chow New Year's resolution video?
That was Bobby Chu.
Okay, Chu. So do you have yourself any resolutions for next year?
I used to do those, but I just figure, why wait for a new year? I do like the new year because it does feel like a fresh start, and I think everyone does that. But I think the bigger deal is, you know, I've found out that, you know, why wait for the beginning of, just like, you know, you'll hear a lot of people, why wait for Monday to start a diet, right? If you're going to start, just start it, you know. Don't put that limitation, or don't put that and he gets into that, you know. He's like
5 second
you know,
rule.
yeah. So I found it to be interesting, you know, and that's, but, you know, kind of to answer your question, yeah, I kind of had this discussion with my exec yesterday that I really want to find. Uh, I don't mind doing conventions, and they're fun, but at the end of the year, I don't have any work, you know, so to speak. If you just do conventions, got some nice sketches, but you know, I mean, you know, like actually you know, like a body of work that would be like portfolio quality, so to speak. You know, just if someone said, "Hey, you know, we're looking for somebody to do this. What do you got to show us?" And I'm like, "Well, I can do it." And they're like, "Okay, well, what do you got to show us?" And I'm like, back in 1980 something." It's like, they're not interested in that.
So I thought he was going to go with his 5 second rule being he would stop eating things that fell on the floor for less than 5 seconds. It turned out to be better than what I was thinking.
Yeah. Well, you
So,
know, go ahead.
I was going to say, Mike Cross says he's listening, but not actively watching.
Oh, well, that's always good, because, you know, it's better to just listen and not watch, right? Especially on when someone's doing a piece of artwork.
He can hear those lines and they sound great.
Is that what he said?
No.
Oh, I thought he did. You never know what Mr. Cross is going to say. I bet he could tell me who I'm drawing, though, just from listening.
He only need to hear 2 lines.
That's right. I remember the first time I put a little video up on Instagram, and I was doing this, you know, I was moving the paper around, and it sounded like sandpaper. And so on the next ones, when I loaded it up, I think there was a, oh, hold on one second. I think I might have to reply to that. Uh, hold on one second. Okay. All right. So did I lose you there, Ron? Or did you?
No, I'm
No.
here.
Okay. Got real quiet. But that's okay if you need to hit a mute or something.
So Mike Cross says the melodious tones of Big Beatty soothe my savage work hours.
He's still at work then. Kinda. Mike Cross, when do you have to go back to work? Wednesday, or do you get the whole week? See, that's one thing. When the holidays fall at the beginning of the week, I would hate to go back for that short week to the weekend. You know, you get that long kind of weekend, and then you got to go back for those few days. Then you're back to a weekend again. Yeah, there's Tom messaging me back real quick.
Mike says he works Monday the 24th, then only off 25th and 26th.
He's when? Let's see. Oh yeah, so he does get the day after Christmas. Oh man, he has to work Christmas Eve, huh? Okay. That was Tom with some information about the Daytona website that I'm putting up or rebuilding each time I have to go in and change dates and tickets and stuff. So he's given me some information I need.
So Mike says he expects some December 24th art stream.
Oh, he does he? Well, I think I don't know, Mike. I think I already said I would, or did I say that yet? Maybe I didn't. I don't think I said that I wasn't gonna, because I don't know if I can get in Christmas Eve or not. That might be a what I need to do is learn to like live without sleep. I tried that. I tried that when I was younger.
How'd that go over for you?
Well, for a while, I guess it was okay till it caught up with me. I think I can still hang with the best of them for a while, but truthfully, I know how important sleep is.
Well, Mike said it's okay. You're allowed a day off. Just make Jared come in and do it.
That's it. But I don't want to give Jared my password to my stream. Not that I don't trust him.
You can invite him in, and then you can just walk off.
Yeah, but then he could stay on my channel until like 8 hours or something.
Forever, 8 hours. He's not coming off.
Or it might be like, well, maybe it's only 5.5 hours or something. I forget what when I first, in fact, I don't get that warning anymore. When I used to do live events, you know, setting one up, and when I would start it, it would tell me, you know, you're good for like, I think 5.5 hours. And now I don't get that little warning, so I don't know what the deal. Maybe I put in enough hours to where I'm beyond that. I remember back in the day, and Mike Cross, he might remember this. There were people that were doing like 24-hour streams, like head sketch stuff. You know, they would stay up and do head sketches for money for like up to 24 hours and stuff. I remember one guy about passed out. I'm not going to say any names. It wasn't me. I thought about doing it, and then I was just like, you know, 24 hours. It's a long time. And you would take a break, of course. You got to do certain things like use the bathroom and get something to eat, or you don't want to really be eating on a stream. Although I guess you could go kind of without eating, right?
You could eat on the stream, just mute the button a lot.
Yeah. And I guess it depends on what you're eating.
True.
You can't have anything probably too crunchy. You can't have anything too sloppy. Like you couldn't have a bag of Doritos. Well, I guess you could, but I don't know how well that would work out.
So have you seen the new Hellboy commercial yet? The new Hellboy
No,
trailer?
I have not, but truthfully I have not heard good about it, which scares me.
So I saw it last night. Initially, I'd seen the pictures of the new Hellboy, and I thought, okay, he looks pretty good. But the trailer did not blow me away. I was not excited about it. It's not to say that the movie won't end up being great, but the trailer didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard some people say it's a new movie. Why remake the first one? Yeah, is Perlman still the guy?
No.
That's what I wasn't sure of, but that's how much I haven't really paid attention to it, because it doesn't seem like well, it could just be me, but it doesn't seem like it's had that much publicity yet. Maybe it's just now beginning to pick up. But when does it when does it hit theaters? Do they have time to like maybe get some of this feedback and
Make corrections?
or something, reshoot some footage? That might be a bit pricey.
David Harbour, I believe, is the Hellboy. I'm trying to Google when it's going to come out. April 2019.
Well, not a lot of time. And John Wick 3, is that out yet, or does that come out like January 19th? I thought I saw something about the 19th. I still got to see the first one.
May.
Yep. May? Is it May 19th?
Yeah, May 2019. Parabellum.
Well, then that gives me plenty of time to see the first one. Although I will say, I was disappointed in the fact that when I actually sat down to watch, because I heard it was on Netflix, they'd already taken it off. The first one.
Mm-hmm.
I finally made time, and I actually told Bella, I said, there's a movie I need to watch, and I don't think Jacob should watch it with me. It's kind of violent, kind of got some language in it that's maybe too much. I said, I'm gonna go in my room and watch it, and I went to find it, and it was gone. Now, I didn't know that. I think they took it off in May of this year, but people were just telling me after I saw the second one on an airplane, they're like, yeah, the first one's on Netflix. And I was like, great, I'll have to look it up sometime. So when I went to look it up, it was already gone. And I was looking for it going like, well, where is it?
You're going to have to red box it.
I wonder if that's even an option. I think it might be just as cheap to on demand, right? If it still is available. I bet it is. $2.99 for
Mm-hmm.
3 days or something. And then I don't have to go back to the red box and return.
Mm-hmm.
Red box is is it 24 hours or is it?
I think it's 24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can return to any red box or the one that you
Any
rented?
red box.
Okay. How do they know it comes back? Do you got a code or something you got to put in?
The discs are coded.
Oh, okay. So when you drop it back in, is it coded on the box or the case or something, or does
No, on
somebody?
the disc itself.
So somebody that comes to those red boxes actually has to scan it or something?
When you put it back, there's a slot that pulls it in and reads it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. Not yet, but soon. I need to start. Well, let's see. Start making this ink a little more gray. So Mike Cross, that's funny that they, you would think, since he's got to work Monday, but he gets Wednesday off. You would think they'd almost go, you know what? We'd rather you not come in Monday, have Christmas Eve and have Christmas, and then come back Wednesday, right? That's the way I see it. But
I don't know. What's he do?
that's a good question. I don't even think he can explain his job.
If he is one of Santa's elves, he has to work on the 24th.
No, I think he is in accounting or something with payroll at for some company, if I remember correctly. He's just a gigolo. That's his part-time job as a gigolo.
Yes, he said, and not that he was a gigolo. He said next week is pay week, and if he does not come in on Monday, no one gets paid.
Well, see, he's an important man. I knew he was something like he's the guy in charge of payroll for a company or accounting and payroll and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
he's like their finance guy. So I guess that does make sense.
He said spot on. And to think you said maple syrup farmer.
That's his hobby. I bet he could get some good maple syrup, right?
Oh, I know he can.
Nice and thick and like mapley. Well, yeah, that's right. Because you were probably getting some from Saskatchewan yourself, right?
Nah, a bit more east than that.
Oh yeah, Vermont.
No. Northern New York, which is, way far east of Saskatchewan, where he's not from.
Where he's not from or now from?
Not from.
Oh, I thought he was from Saskatchewan.
No. You guys keep saying that. It's Nova Scotia, right?
Yeah, but isn't that just a suburb?
Remember the map I pulled up for you? The Rocky Mountain? Canadian Rockies? It's a little off.
Well, it's like I technically live in Holly Hill, which is our little 4 mile armpit, 4 square miles. But it's ours, and a lot of people don't want to. Well, here's the thing: you tell people Holly Hill, Florida, they have no idea. So I tell people Daytona. So I thought he was doing the same thing. I thought being from Saskatchewan, he would prefer to say Nova Scotia, even though I don't know the geography involved in it. I've heard of Nova Scotia. I've actually heard of Saskatchewan too, but I thought that was an imaginary place.
No, that's Sasquatch.
Oh, that's what it is. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, Mike says it's lobster this time of year.
Mr. Cross got his Lobster Johnson drawing, and I forgot to sign it.
Ooh.
But that's okay. We'll see him at Heroes Con, right? And I can sign it there.
Is he going to Heroes Con?
No, I just said that, to rub salt in the wound a little further. He comes to Heroes Con every 5 years. No, I think he's actually saving for 2020. Because it is quite a journey for him. It's an expensive trip,
Oh, hey, Mike Cross came in with 4,379 kilometers. That's the distance from Saskatchewan to Nova Scotia. But Mike, he's not going to know what that means because it's in kilometers, so you'll need to break it down to miles for him.
That's right. Could you use that Google calculator? Now, Ron, when you lived up, did you have to get familiar with the kilometers?
We're familiar with it because it's taught to us in school. But no, I mean, in New York, everything's miles per hour in gallons, not liters.
But wouldn't you have those connects that came down and,
Nope. Just like if you go up there and visits, you adapt to what they have.
Like that plastic money they have that slips out of your hands.
No, that's milk in a bag, sir.
Is that what that is? Their money is very slippery. I do know that. It's very, very nice. I like it. I don't like the exchange value, but it's very well designed, and it's got an interesting feel to it, although it is slickery.
Mike wants you to know it was 2,700 miles.
Wow. From Nova Scotia to Saskatchewan?
Yeah, it's like driving from here to the Rockies.
So he's really not close to...
No.
But okay, I'm confused.
Sunday.
That's some big area up there. Some big area. All right, let's see. Do I got... I'm going to leave that on the collar. Just going to hit this a little bit more. Okay. Now we go with, what am I going to do here? I'm going to mix a little, actually, I'm just going to put the brush in the water and start using it like that and kind of let it, I have my little dab sheet here. Kind of let it just start fading where it fades, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it might reactivate a little bit of this, the actual ink, but that'll be fine. Well, I thought he was closer than that. Because me, I'm, 4 square miles that's nothing. That's absolutely nothing.
Well, he wants you to know, just relax and breathe.
I am. I'm breathing. I'm not relaxed, but I'm breathing.
You sound relaxed.
Oh, I wish I were. Did you say I sound relaxed, or was that Mike's comment, or both of you?
That was me.
Oh, I try to sound relaxed. It's the Bob Ross effect. I'll start whispering again.
Get the vacuum lady.
Yeah. It's her. She's coming. I don't want her to know I'm in here. I guess she did come up the hallway. I just wasn't quite aware that she made it this far. That must have been her. I just, for whatever reason, no good reason, didn't seem like she made it all the way up. She's a very nice woman. Like when she cleans the men's room, there was one time I was in there, and the door's always, well, you've been here, Ron. You know how the door's open, and she walked in, and luckily I was just at the sink, and she's just like, "Oh, excuse me," and I'm like, "No problem, no worries." Okay, leave some nice bright highlights.
Now you are going over this in red, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. We're gonna finish out the week doing a little painting. Little watercolor painting. So all of this will wind up getting a bit of a spot of color. That's the best I could do, Mike Cross, for my English accent at just a quick.
I think I gotta mute this. All right, I'm back. Way too much laughing.
Oh, I thought you had to do something else.
No.
Were you laughing at me or with me, or something else?
Bit
Something
of both.
All right.
It was your accent. It was spot on.
It was spot on. You'll have to tell me later if we remember. It'll probably be one of those things that's forgotten, right? Maybe.
Maybe.
Or it'll be one of the things that I never live down again. It'll be a running gag. Kind of like the New Kids on the Block song now with Sable.
He's from Canada. He's not the Queen of England.
I know that. Although he looks like the Queen of England. They look very similar.
It's all the pearls, the necklaces. Is that
it? Yeah, it's his pearl necklace.
It's not even fair. I don't think I know what Mike looks like.
Oh yeah, you've seen Mike before at a lot of conventions. That's really a bad joke. You know, you've seen him before. You know, meaning it's the typical nerd comic fan that we, you know.
Okay, like us.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
we're all kind of, you know, we all blend in. And if Zablo was here, he would have thrown in a Trebek on that, I believe. I wonder if he is at work, and I wonder if he's not at work. I know he can't possibly still be sick. If he is, he would probably be in the hospital.
He should be better. That was like a week ago.
That's what I'm saying. And if he's, well, he has the same Volusia County school schedule as my son, so but being in administration, he still has to be there. So,
being the man.
That's right. Being the man that he is. And Mike Cross will tell you about that. Maybe not. Ron, you've never been to Heroes Con. This will be your first time, right?
This will be my first time. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we'll have to take you to Mert's Soul Food. Mert's Heart and Soul. And then there's some diner they started. Now, here's the funny thing. There's this place across from the convention center, and they are a chain. It's called Fuel. And it's really good, and it's not what I would call fast food pizza, and I don't think they have, I think they might, no, they have subs and stuff, but it's fast food. But the only problem is after 3 days of eating it, or maybe 4, it's like the fastest thing you can get because it's right across from the convention center. Unless you want to eat convention center food, you get tired of it. You know, it's like, that used to be like, oh, let's just go to Fuel. You know, we'll grab a slice of pie or a sandwich or something. But it gets old. So it's kind of out of rotation now. Although the newbies, boy, I just had a blast of emails come in there. I guess it's time for them. In now, the like, you waited too long emails are coming. You know, where you can buy a gift card now.
So, are you driving or flying up?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. If Bella and Jacob go, I might drive. However, I have a companion ticket, so that means I can fly someone for free. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I can, like, Bella can go for free with me, and then I would just have to buy a ticket for Jacob. And he likes to fly, and he hasn't flown since he was like like 2 years and 2 months or something, or 2 years and 2.5 or something. And he loved it. He handled it like a boss. The first time we took off, he was gripping mine and Bella's hand pretty tight, but after we stopped in Atlanta and got back on, he was just like, he kicked back with the iPad and just, sat in his seat, or actually laid in it, and was good to go.
So he's not flown over to the Philippines?
No.
Oh boy, it's gonna be a long flight.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't quite understand, he thinks he likes flying. After I did that flight, I was like, twice after I did it, 4 times in 2020. 20 well, wait a minute. 2007. I was like, you know what? I can fly anywhere now, and it's not gonna feel like anything,
Yes.
because once you've flown for 24 hours, the biggest leg of the trip is, of course, my point of entry was Michigan. So from Michigan to Japan, I think going over 16 or 19 hours, because we went up and around Alaska and looped down. I remember I was just looking at a map and I was like, okay, so I got to go to Japan, and then I looked at, like, the map, and I saw where the Philippines was in relation to that, and I'm like, oh, that's just, that can't be more than like a couple-hour flight from Japan to the Philippines in Manila. And it was like another 4 hours, and I'm like, oh no, come on. It's kind of cruel. It's cruel that it looks that close on a map, but it's really not. You dig what I'm saying?
I get it.
You ever had a flight like that?
Nope. I've only ever flown to New York and back. No, that's not true. I've been to Denver.
Please come to Denver. Whoa. Little table jump on me. Denver's not a bad flight. Well, depending on where was that from New York?
No, it was out of Tampa, I think, or Orlando.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then not bad at all. When was that?
2014? No, later than that. Maybe 15. Had some work stuff.
Yeah.
Real nice area, though.
When I was there this year, we went to the downtown area, and I liked the way they handle it, where I can't remember. Well, I can't remember, but I can't remember for you. It's like the downtown area. Were you in that area? Downtown?
I was.
Yeah,
exclusively.
Like the mall. They call it the mall, and everything's like, there's no traffic or anything allowed down there.
Right, just that trolley that goes up and down. It's like 34th Street
and the petty cars and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's really cool because they actually have a nice downtown, where people were actually out. The restaurants all had, like, I would say the majority, at least let's say 90% of the restaurants all had like you could sit outside because the weather was nice. You know, it wasn't. This was like kind of whenever the Denver Comic Con was, so it it just had a nice appeal to it, and it's like, you know, more cities should probably kind of look at that and go, you know, like down here in Daytona, they could, you know, maybe try that. But here's the problem: is down here nobody stays open late enough to develop any kind of nightlife. And there's, you know, there's some bars here, but there's not like, you know, there's some restaurants, but they're all closing up too early to develop a, you know, kind of
So
a night, you know. What were we gonna say, Ron?
when I was up there, I was wandering around the city, trying to
Mm-hmm.
find something to do. And I don't know if you saw the Hard Rock while you were there, but the Hard Rock and some other building, there's this bit of an alleyway, and they had it closed off, and I'm hearing
Oh
music
yeah,
from
yeah.
behind it.
Yep, I did see the Hard Rock because it's kind of in the middle of downtown in a way, right?
It was right on that street with all the
Yep.
trolleys. So I make my way to get up and into that alley area, and there was this concert going on, and I guess it was like a private concert, but it was like Eddie Money, Jefferson Airship or Spaceship or something.
Yeah,
Um,
whatever they're calling themselves now these days.
cool on the gang.
I've seen them. I've seen Cool in the Gang
It
back
was
when
like
they were really Cool in the Gang.
it was all these older bands. There was like five of them or something out there playing this, I guess, private concert that I somehow snuck into. It was really cool.
So it was just not private enough.
Found a way in.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right. You know, they recycle everything was so clean and green there.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's uh it's done right. So boy, is the chat that dead? Was that the last? I just looked. Just relax and breathe, John. Was that the last we heard from Mr. Cross?
I am not deleting them. That is it.
No, I just didn't know if sometimes my screen will freeze and I gotta like refresh it. But hey, that's all right. If nobody's feeling chatty or if they're doing other work and they're just watching, so be it. And Dot Kaz may be gone for all we know. He was leaving sometime, wasn't he?
He is playing poker.
Yeah, but I like I said, I can't remember when he said he was taking off.
I think it was this weekend. He had some Casino Royale stuff going on.
That's right. Well, I hope he has some good luck. Please come to whatever that song is. Why did I think of that? Because isn't Denver in that song? Please come to Denver. She just said no.
I don't know that song.
Come on, you should know that.
Was there guitar in that song?
I'm trying to remember the name of it. That would help you out immensely, I'm sure.
Was the guitar distorted?
I don't think so.
I don't think I know that song.
It's more of a softer rock. Mike Cross would know, but he's busy screwing people out of their paychecks.
All right, so I Googled, let's see, what do we get? I Googled, please come to Denver. There's please come to Boston.
Yeah. What's the name of that song?
Please come to Boston.
Oh.
Dave Loggins.
I have no idea.
All right, let's pull up the lyrics because I see also please come to Denver in it.
That must be it.
Please come to Denver with the snowfall.
No. This is where guys like, she just said no, boy, won't you go home? And I don't know. Say rambling man, why don't you settle down?
Oh, I have to take a phone call.
Okay. Guess it was my singing.
It was totally the singing.
She just said no. Mike Cross, are you still listening as you work, sir? Or are you MIA now? Hey, Dr. Kaz, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Friday marathon. I don't think that's going to happen. I think people are beginning to want to start their holiday festivities. But it's a good thought, Doc. It is a good thought, sir. Maybe one day we can organize like a whole Friday live stream. Get everybody on board so it's hooked up and it runs like a fine-tuned engine. Maybe. Might be tough.
All right, back. Sorry.
Okay. Dr. Kaz came in.
Hey, good morning.
He's ready for a Friday marathon. I told him I don't think that's going to happen this week because people are already wanting their vacation or their celebration time. And I guess I can't blame a lot of people that are at that desk job punching that clock every day. Especially when they work knowing that Mike Cross is responsible for their paycheck.
He is responsible for providing them Christmas.
that would scare me.
That would make him Santa Claus.
Yeah. I think you're right. He's kind of I bet people are real nice to Mike this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they think he can get a little extra something in their check. I guess, well, only he would know is if his company gives out a Christmas bonus. And, he's kind of fearless. He would say, oh, yeah, we give out bonuses. He's one of those guys. He's pretty fearless sometimes about certain things. I don't know. That might be pushing it, though. I'm not asking Mike. I'm just saying he's been known to mention some stuff in a chat room that is yeah.
Some stuff he shouldn't have mentioned.
Well, I don't know. He's never got in trouble, but it's stuff that you're like, okay, let's not dwell on that. Let's move right along. I think he might be gone. I asked if he was still hanging in, but haven't got a reply back, so.
So Kaz says there's too much rain. He is staying local. I asked him when he was leaving to the mountains.
Rain in the mountains or rain there in Atlanta? I bet it's in the Atlanta area. I bet he's getting some of what we got.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my guess. But mind you, only a guess, because I have no idea. So yeah, that was the song. So Ramblin' Boy, why don't you settle down? I think it's L.A. or is it Boston? Ain't your kind of town. I would almost say it's got to be L.A.
All of them were in that. Please come to LA to live forever. California life alone is just too hard to build.
Yeah, but see, that don't seem like
I
that
live in
doesn't.
a house that looks out over the ocean, and there's some stars that fell from the sky and living up in the hill. Please come to LA. She just said no.
Yeah, that's it.
Boy, won't you come home to me?
Yeah. And what's the title of that?
Please come to Boston by Dave
Right.
Loggins.
Wow. Any relation to Kenny Loggins?
I don't know.
You would almost think so, right? Maybe Dave started out as, or maybe Kenny started out as Dave. What about that? Could be.
I'm Googling it. Second cousin.
Uh-huh. It's amazing how those families, you know, like the one guy that's been at some of the comic conventions, I'm thinking of his name now, Gunn, and he was in like a lot of movies, and then I think he was in, and I don't think he had a large part, but I think he was in, I'm drawing a blank on it, the one with Groot.
Oh, he was the director that got fired, right? Was it like David Gunn or
Well,
James Gunn?
I can't remember the one it was at the Mohegan Sun Casino, not this past year, but the year before, I think, where I thought I was playing in a charity poker auction, but it was just a poker tournament that anybody could have walked in and played. I thought it was for the comic people only.
Mm-hmm.
And I hung in there for a while, but I finally got beat.
Tater came in and said James Gunn's
James
brother,
Gunn.
Sean.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice guy. Zach and I actually had a car back to the airport with him from that, and I was asking him, did he play any more cards beside? He was the bounty in the poker tournament. He was the target, but the thing is what they didn't do right is they never rotated him. So if you weren't at his table, you know, like every fifth hand or so, he should have been jumping around to the tables. So he got knocked out after about 45 minutes or an hour, and nobody else got a chance to bust him. But he said he played a little bit the following night at the 1-2 table, and I asked him how he did, and he said he won about $100. And I said, well, 1-2 table, that's about all you're lucky to win that. It's tough.
And for people that don't know poker, what is a 1-2 table?
The blinds are 1 and 2, and then it's usually no limit after that. But it's a good cheap game, but you can go all in. So at any time, you might be risking whatever. Usually buy-ins like a minimum of 100, but they keep it at like 300 max. But I don't go that well. Maybe when I was younger, I would have, but now can't be. Like I said, I played in that tournament because I thought it was going to some charity thing, and then I find out that they they were seating people at our table that just knew about the tournament, and there were some other guys there that were like vendors or something, and I was talking to them, and they were like, "Man, anybody can play in this," and we were kind of disappointed because it's almost like it should be like just for the comics people only. We all were thinking it would be kind of more fun playing with your fellow nerd, your nerd brethren.
Mm-hmm.
But no, anybody. So like some poker star could come in and and sit and play. But all things considered, it was okay. Now, let that dry a second. I need to I see. I'm looking at the monitor now. I need to. Hey, good morning, Tater. I need to adjust my. There we go. I usually keep that tape, the masking tape. That's usually my. I can line it up so I'm also square, so to speak, on the table. I'm wondering if I should do a color background wash or gray and then put the color over the back of Hellboy. Or I know the color's going over Hellboy, at least until it fades out down towards the bottom.
Tater said good morning.
Yes, Tater. Yes, yes, yes. It is a good morning so far. And let's see. For those of you who didn't see it, I did up. Yeah, let's get those. This is the finished Daredevil piece from yesterday, Dr. Kaz. It rained in Florida all day yesterday, so I went with the rain effect. So there you have it, Tater. There you have it. I think Steven maybe saw it. He was first in the room. So rain effect. There. Second City TV when they did the 3D, the phony 3D. You're too young for that, Ron. Maybe. Yeah, you are.
So if you were doing a background color and with Hellboy being red,
maybe a blue or a green. But see, I just don't know if that's going to be too bright. I kind of...
So pulling out the color wheel.
Well, the opposite of red is green. You know,
yellow-green might dull it down some.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm tempted to put the color in and see if I... a gray would definitely be safe. A sepia, if I have something in that brownish, but see his... Oh, that's right. I gotta check my colors here because the tiger yellow is gonna be too bright. I do have this nice sunset orange. Now, watered down, that might be fine for his jacket, but got a couple more colors over here I'm gonna take a look at because I need a brown. The headset's got to come off. Hold on. I got an Indian yellow, which I think is a little more brown. That actually may be a good color for his jacket. Kind of the camel color. I'm going to give that a test. Let's see. This is like still wet, so I got to be careful. But you all will be able to see the color with me on this. And this is the Indian yellow. Oh boy, that's bright. That's almost as... Well, I could really thin that down though with water, which is kind of what I want to do. Right, Ron?
That's trying to get more of a brown?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that camel brown of the bigger parts of his jacket.
Mm-hmm.
I want but I mean, I'm going to have to get a brown, more brown for his collar, but I think I can... I'm going to go in to my lightest gray and add some of this yellow and see what I get. And that's, see what that did there? See how that already, the extra water and the gray.
Mm-hmm.
That's about that camel color that I'm looking for. I think I need to, actually, I think I don't want this to be like over bright in a sense. You know, I'm looking at a Mignola watercolor, and it's like I told you earlier. It's very interesting that, you know, when he does his watercolors, he keeps them toned down quite a bit. They're not like say the comic book where the colors are all just nice and bright, and the artwork's like, see, like even this is, that's probably closer. It's very pale,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dive right in, fearless, so to speak.
Fearless like Mike Cross.
There you go.
All right, Kaz came in and said, "Wow, Daredevil looks awesome. Maybe his favorite so far."
Oh, thank you, Dr. Kaz.
Now, was that Daredevil a request by someone?
Nope, it is available for purchase. If Dr. Kaz would like it, all he's got to do is dib it. Okay. Now, you know what I should do, Ron, is go ahead and get some of this up on this part of the collar too, because it's going to be a darker brown, and I don't have a brown, so to speak. I'm going to have to mix something, so may as well start and go ahead and let this yellow camelish color start doing some work for me. Oh, you know what? Hellboy's eyes are yellow too, right? They're not white.
There's no pupils.
Right, I know that. I'm not going to make that mistake, but are they usually yellow, or it's hard to tell if Mignola's, I think he's, in this reference I got, it looks like he's got a little yellow in there.
They're yellow.
All right, so good thing I didn't paint them and do a like a red all over them. And I would have been taking some colored pencil probably, and I'm probably going to have to get out my other tube watercolors and make the proper brown, because I don't think this is going to, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a better brown than this without doing it. Now, I want this to kind of just go. Come on, give me a little drip. No? If you're not, I'm not going to fight you because I really don't want much more color down there. Fixing to dab it. I want more of the color up here.
So how are you planning on mixing up your brown?
Like I said, I've got some other watercolors. I'm probably going to have to pull those out and actually get like, let's see, where are they? See what like brown out of the tube I have, and then just water it down. What do I got here? I don't want yellow ochre. I have some Van Dyke brown, which is probably way too dark, and I have some burnt sienna, which is probably like this, which I'll be using. So that should be interesting.
So what's the differences in your watercolors? You've got the tubes, you've got the Martins.
The Dr. Martens are highly concentrated. You know, they're not diluted, and you're actually not supposed to really use them because anything that's concentrated, just like say laundry detergent, it's, you know, more powerful. So, you know, you buy that big thing and it says like 80 or 100 loads. So this watercolor is, and the color is very intense, but it's already liquefied. So you're just supposed to like, I don't think, I mean, you can, there's no, you know, it's not like it's written in stone, but it's supposed to be kind of diluted and used just like any watercolor, uh, transparent. But a lot of people, like, you know, they do use them directly out of the bottle because they are so intense. The purple I have, I used it straight out of the bottle, and it's, if you look at my Instagram at that Hawkeye with the two color pieces I was doing, and the purple on that, I even lightened that in Photoshop, and it's still dark. I mean, it's like extreme, too extreme. Oh, what is, I'm gonna get, why, I'm gonna keep this Indian yellow. Don't know why I closed that up, so I can hit his eyes with it. It'll be interesting scanning this Indian yellow to see if it turns orange like the other yellow I was using. I thought this Indian yellow had a little bit more brown in it, but this seems more of a, you know, like a lemon yellow, I guess I would say, or a sun yellow, that type of thing. Although the yellow I was using for the other ones, that's a tiger yellow. And when I would scan it, it literally, my raw scans, it picks up the orange. So, all right. So I got that. I'm debating on whether I should do the collar or if I should do the red first. I think I'm probably going to do the red. Oh, I still want to use my. I'm going to go to the end of this eraser, not break out my more fresh one. Boy, that was dangerous. I'm glad that was dry. I went right into that yellow. And it's kind of funny that that red pencil is just going to dissolve into the color. I'm still debating on what color to put in the background. You know, I don't see it being black, but you know, it possibly could be, since this is so light down here. I could, you know, it's going to stop around here and go up. But when I now see, I can't really use the brown on the collar. It'd be too, unless I do like a highlight on the collar. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Experimentation. We'll all learn together. It's the best way, right? We're all learning.
We are all along with you. I have another call. Hold on.
Oh man. Whoops. That's not blood. That is not good. I will wait till Ron gets back from his call, and then I need to run down to the bathroom. When I opened up that red color, looks like blood. I need to wash that off. Luckily, should I bring the bottle? Let me see. Boy, I shook it up and opened it and never had that happen before. I think the bottle's okay. Don't know why it had that action on me. Well, the dye is getting into my hands. Let's get this ring off my finger. I can at least, like I said, we're all learning together. So I'm learning. That's a messy thing, and I'm glad I didn't have it over my drawing here, or that could have been quite a disaster. Let's see if some hand sanitizer will. It's beginning to, yeah, I'm going to need some soap. Well, streaming live, stuff happens, people. It looks a little better. Let's go with another. Sorry for the delay on the stream, but can't really do anything with that much paint. Hello, new watchers. Sorry, but I had some, it's not a cut, it's paint. Get on my hands. So I am waiting for my co-host, Ron. He had to take a call. So I am needing to get down to the restroom and get some soap and water and get this off of my hand. I'm using some hand sanitizer to try to get as much of it as I can off, and it's doing okay, but it's not going to get it off to the point where I want to touch the artwork. So wonder if I should type a message in and go ahead and get it done so Ron will know where I went. Let me do that. Let's see. I'll make it to him so it'll be highlighted so he sees it. Okay, I will be right back, folks. Excuse me just a minute. All right. Ron, did you see that?
I did see that.
It still all did not come off. It looked like I dropped an X-Acto knife and caught it in my hand and hit an artery or something. But oh well, it happens. I don't know. I shook the bottle up, and when I opened it, I actually heard like a little bit of pressure type sound, you know, and boom, it almost like jumped out at me. So, and it would have to be the red. I think that's the toughest to get out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the red on Hellboy, and hopefully somewhere around here I'm going to start adding water so it isn't as bright and it starts to fade away, or somewhat fades out into the white, or at least into some gray. But I'm going to go full strength up top here so that we get a nice saturated red. Could imagine somebody watching the stream and just hitting that part where my hands like looks like it got cut.
There were no screams that followed.
No, there weren't. See, if I'd have been thinking, that's what I should have done. I think we lost Mike Cross. He never replied back. I think he must be attentive to his job right now.
Well, someone got a check with too many zeros.
Yeah. Somebody by the name of Mike Cross. Alyssa got it. Suddenly his daughter's on payroll and they're asking they've called him into the boss's office. When did your daughter start working here? She's only like 12 or 13. Did we hire her?
That is a nice looking red on Hellboy.
Yeah. These dyes do, I call them dyes because that's what I'm used to calling them. I used to, Mike Zeck is the one that, when he used to do color work, he used Dr. Martin's dyes, concentrated watercolor. They've been called pretty much the same thing. And so, when I was a young fanboy, I, of course, wanted to know exactly what he was using so I could go buy it and try it. So I know exactly the feeling of like, well, if he uses it, that means I got to use it, So that's what I would do. And I didn't have a mastery that he had. And he'll tell you himself, he didn't really have a mastery of them either. He just could kind of do what I'm doing now. And that's play with them enough to be a little bit dangerous. So it all kind of comes down to that, it's like you get to a point where you're interested in something, you learn enough about it to where you can start playing around with it, and then it becomes, how much time do you have to spend to to do everything. And this is kind of going to be the fun part here, is where this ink is, like in here. where it's, because it is that nice black magic that's really gray magic, Ron. I feel like I need to put the red over it because it will actually go into the black, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
and even tone that some of the red, kind of like it's going over the gray tones, and that's what's given that um, the see-through. Yeah, as you can see now in this area where we get to the lighter gray, where the transparency. Now, like if this was a gouache or something, you can do a gouache wash, but gouache is usually used a little bit thicker and more layers. That's what like Paolo and Alex Ross use, is the gouache. That's my next step, is to try to get some. I had it. I tried gouache before, way back in the 80s, but I was using it in a totally different, I think, different way. So now I'm going to hit some water so I can let this start to, and yes, I did. There it is. I need that. I just want this to not be as, it's going to be bright. That's the thing. But I want it to start fading out, which it is doing. Might have to dab it real quick here. And then go back in with just a lighter. Uh-oh, can't look at that right now. Okay, beauty. Now, just a little. This is where I get too fussy, and I probably shouldn't. This is where I need to learn to let go, but I just want a little bit more saturation where this gray is, and that should do it. Okay. You know, it's going to take a while for this red, at least today, you know, a couple more good scrubbings to get it off. So wherever I go, people are going to be looking at my hands like, why you got blood stains on your hands? I'll tell them not to ask, or they'll find out.
Would alcohol get that off easier?
That's a good question. I use that. You know that you probably know more about it than I do, Ron. That pinkish purple soap, I think they use it in hospitals too. And we have that here in the office building. I don't know if you've seen it when you've been down there. That stuff to me seems like kind of sticky in a way. I don't really like it. But it's what we have, so.
Don't you have some Perel right next to you?
Yeah, I do. I tried that while you were gone, trying to, you know, start taking it off. And it worked a little bit, but it was just moving it around more than anything. Which was fine. It kind of, you know. All right.
Tater came in and said it looks really good. I've never followed Hellboy much, but the style is really great.
Well, thank you, Tater. This is not typical Hellboy style, I would say. Would you, Ron? Mignola usually is. He he does like watercoloring, and that's kind of what inspired me, since I'm kind of doing this. But he's more of and his if you look at what he's done, you'll, man, I know what that is. It's just an alert, because I ordered some little kid a book or two on Roblox for Christmas, and it's just alerts letting me know that they're on the way from Amazon. They should be here today. I know they're not. Huh?
AG came in.
Oh, good morning, AG.
Santa's gonna need to get you a new bottle of red and a hairdryer. Looks great.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, let me get rid of these text messages. Arriving today. I'm gonna just see something real quick. I want to make sure if it does it. Okay, USPS, that's good. That means if for some reason I'm not here, it'll go into my box. Okay, so yes, I'm now gonna put the cap back on the red, and we're gonna work on the collar. It's funny with the lighting on it. You know, like in this here, it looks, looks like there's a little white line. You see what I'm saying, Ron? Do you see that?
No, I see it.
But it's not. It's just the way, the light and stuff hits it, and then it projects it onto the monitor. Because I can see it on the monitor. I'm like, wow, that looks like I put a hard white line there, but it's not. Let's see if I move it up some. Now, see, it still kind of gives that illusion. I wonder why that does that. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that red paper towel too and get a clean one, because red can be very dangerous. Red is one of those colors that I guess it's like the red wine thing. It stains everything, So now a little bit of this. We'll go with the old burnt sienna. Put a little bit of that in my palette. Good. Just enough. I don't need a lot, because the yellow I put down should carry what little bit of brown I need for that area. So it's really weird. Sometimes you wind up, and I guess with more experience, I know like Palo uses like what's called as a wet palette, and it's like a sponge underneath that keeps the colors like damp. I don't know if you've watched that on his YouTube, but it's more for like gouache, so you're not wasting color. And I guess after 10 o'clock, I see 7 people in the room now, so I guess people are awake now. So time to get in here and mix up a brown that's gonna work for a little bit of collar area. And let me get this one's dry. That's a little, might be too wimpy, but it might just work. I think that Oh, I'm out of the. You got to tell me when I'm out of the picture frame there, Ron.
And I thought that was intentional.
No, I thought I was in, but I didn't. I'm working with that wet. Let's see. I'm going to go with this. Could probably, well, it could always be a darker brown. I can always go back over it, but for right now, and you know he's got this jacket where only the top part of the lapel is the darker leather. I hear a vacuum again.
So you're just building up layers?
Pretty much. I don't, you know, it's like I said, I don't want the brown to suddenly be super dark on his collar, but I know it's, again, you know, I look at the monitor and I see, you know, I do see that it looks a lot more washed out, and the color is beginning to be sucked up by the paper and stuff. So I'll put this one layer down, and then I'll do another one, or a thicker layer, maybe. Let's do the other side and see what we got going.
AG says he's going to do some washes on the pet portrait stuff. He needs to finish up for Christmas. So thank you for the morning inspiration.
Hey, you're welcome, AG. Good luck on your pet portraits. It's very nice of you, AG. I appreciate the kind words. Now that's a bit light, but I'm going to let that soak in a little bit and then go back over it. You can tell a little bit of tonal difference, though. I'm looking at it now, and I can, you know, I can pick it up. But I do think I want to do a bit more, you know, brownish. I don't want the brown. Well, the brown's not really going to be that dominant with that red. I got to find out, you know, ponytail. I should have put a gray highlight on, but I can get to that. I got plenty of gray mixed up over here. I got to decide what I'm gonna do with the background. I'm almost wondering if black would work. I don't know. All right, so this is quite a bit more color, as I'm sure, hopefully you can see. I'm not looking at my monitor now because I'm moving paint, so.
No, it looks good. It's definitely more brown.
Yeah. Okay, let's load up this side. I'm noodling, Ron.
That's okay. AG wants to know, is the brown color Dr. Martin's as well? He was assuming so. He was
No.
making coffee.
It's just some KOI, I guess is the way you pronounce it, watercolor in the tube. I put it back in the box, but it's just a little tube of watercolor. So it is different. It's, it comes out a little thicker and you have to water it down yourself. And that's part of the trick to all water-based media is the balance of the, whether it's watercolor or gouache and the water control and your brush, the water in the palette. It all comes down to water. It's sad to say, but it's like the water dominates. If it's too wet, then it can run on you. If it's too dry, you got to add. So I'm going to hit the back of his ponytail here with this. And I might need to make that a little darker, but maybe not. I don't want it to get lost if I can always go back later. I think I do need to make it darker.
I know you've mentioned it before, but do you have a particular type of water you like to use?
I usually use distilled water with the watercolors so that it doesn't get any, although I just have really on the ink wash stuff, I'll, in my little palette, I'll put like two little squirts of, two little of the flower thing that I have here. Let's see if I can do this thing here. Two of those little things I'll fill with distilled water. The reason I do that is so that it doesn't get any sludge from just using tap water here in the building and to the paint. But when I'm just doing normal inking, it's, it'd kind of be a waste to use distilled water. But when I go right to the color, then I want to mix that with a water that has nothing in it to try to keep the color as pure as possible. And so that's a good question. It's not something you have to do. It's just something that, I think if I make that a habit now, then if I do larger and bigger paintings, the more pure water will keep the colors from, suddenly getting whatever tap runs through your city, whatever's in their water.
The chlorine.
Or whatever, that if it's not it was built in, so I don't know if it has, it still may have, and I'm probably sure it might still have the old metal or whatever they were using for pipes back then. So I'm sure some of that stuff is eventually, if it hasn't already, it's probably going to have to be replaced. I think that's one of the things in homes that kind of gets worn out is old metal or steel pipes. Eventually they rust out and break. Now I'm thinking about the background. I'm kind of feeling black on it for some reason. I don't know why. I think a color might be too dominant and might fight for attention with the figure. What say you, Ron? You have
I
an
like black.
opinion?
I like black. So
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking black might be the way to go, but I also want to make sure I don't have the problem I had yesterday and it's too soft. So keep, I think I'm gonna keep it rigid. I like a few little feather lines like that were on the Mr. Freeze piece, but overall, I think that I need to keep it more uh, in an actual shape, and not. And I'm still gonna stick with the Black Magic ink. In fact, I probably need some more because I actually do want the. I don't want this black to be so overwhelming, and so as both you and I can attest to, the Black Magic ink is will actually probably give me that a little bit of hopefully. And this is the funny thing. This time I'm actually hoping it gives me a uh, some gray and black kind of mixed together. Not just a really dense black. I need it to work with me and not against me this time. So here we go. Let's establish a. I kind of sketched in a bit of a shape, so I'm gonna follow that right now. Boy, that that really is dark gray. Okay, you can see that. That is not black.
it is not black. That's black magic.
Yeah, I know, and I'm see now. That's too light. That just I can't do that. I gotta have. All right, I will go with my. I'm gonna mix in some black star with it and see what that gives me. Because that's a bit too gray. That's not going to happen. And I'll swirl it around a little bit and see what happens now. There. That's black. And
I have another phone call.
okay, you're busy.
Work happens.
Yeah, it does.
At least it's all on the phone.
There you go. Hello. Let's see. Romulo, how are you? Well, I'm glad you could finally stop by. I am getting close to the finish, but I appreciate you coming in and saying hello. It's always nice to meet those that are subscribed and probably maybe don't get to catch live but can watch afterwards. So there is always that, but I know what you mean. It's fun catching it live. If you go back and rewatch this, you will find an interesting, or kind of interesting, kind of almost ruined the piece, was when I opened up my red watercolor. It's liquid. It, for some reason, the pressure, it kind of blew up in my hands. So I still have some red from trying to wash it off. And I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Oh, good. Okay. It's always a shot in the dark sometimes when it's not a name that you're familiar with. That's pretty funny. Ron, we have now I did it. Romulo.
Mhm.
They came in the room and he first time catching a stream.
Nice.
Yeah. I told him he came right towards the end, but at least he's getting to see a little bit live, which is always maybe a little more interesting. Sometimes not, because you can't fast forward.
Where's he joining us from?
I'm not sure. I didn't ask. I wasn't that far into it yet. So, but that's a good question. Where are you joining us from?
Miami.
Oh, okay. Hey. Well, I will be down at the. We may have met. I'll be down at the Miami convention next year, July. I think it starts July 4th and goes for 4 days. And I've been at that show every year since 2015. So if you've been the first year it was in, or the first 2 years I was there, it was in South Beach, and then with the convention center having construction, it had to move to Fort Lauderdale for the past couple of years. So 17 and 18, it was Fort Lauderdale. So it'll be back in South Beach. Which is a beautiful area with all the old deco stuff down there.
He says you have met once or twice. He still needs to get your signature on his Hellboy 100 project book.
All right. Well, come see me in July. I will be there with Mike Zeck will be there with me too. So we're like peanut butter and jelly. Right, Ron?
Mm-hmm. Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter jelly time?
That's right. You know, it was really one of those things, and I would have done it, but I think my wife would have killed me. And maybe Mike would have killed me too. But I got to thinking about it, and Jacob was about 2 years old or something, and we were talking about names, and it just hit me. I said, and I think I told Mike first. I said, had I been thinking of it, I would have named him Zek, because then he would have been Zach Beatty.
Okay. That would have been cool.
Well, I I try to explain people. There's some history there with the combination of names. It's like Kirby Sennett, right?
Mm-hmm. It's never too late. You can change his name.
Believe me, I got the look from both Bella and Zach when I mentioned that we could change his name, and I even mentioned it to Jacob, but he likes Jacob, so I
He's
told him,
kind of attached to it.
yeah, I said, okay. I said, but Jacob, you're too young to understand. But, years from now, when I'm dead and gone, you'll be Zach Beatty. I couldn't sell him on it.
Nope. Romulo, he says, nice combo sketches you guys do. It's always great.
Yeah. Thank you. Ron actually watched the Batman stream that I have up yesterday, right, Ron?
Yeah, I think he's talking about you and Zach.
Yeah, that was a Zach Beatty piece.
Oh,
that
okay.
Batman.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it was.
And that was
I gotta
fun.
see the second part still.
Oh, do you? Okay. I think that one, I'm just more or less filling in the blacks. I think there's a little bit of line work. Or did I get to just like outlining on the first part? And then
You
I
were
went,
outlining and cross hatching some.
yeah. Was that like pretty much start to finish, or did I already have it started a bit? I can't remember now.
I feel like you started just on pencils right away.
I think I did too. I think that was the it does sound like a futuristic name. Zach Beatty. I'll tell you, he would, he would have a name that I actually even got the domain name zachbeatty.com. And I have my son's name and my wife's name, but I neglected to get my name when I was getting domains.
Makes sense.
Well, that was back when like I said, I told you that story, Ron, where I was more into like, oh, I'm going to get Big Beatty because that's what Doug's calling me. And on the Batman stuff, it's like, he refers to me in the letters column as Big Beatty and stuff. So I went with that. Okay, so I know the blue tape is kind of throwing off the background effect, but I kind of dig it. I'm okay with it. I think it there's enough of an abstract shape there that it doesn't really lead the eye anywhere except down into Hellboy. So I'm not gonna fuss with it anymore. And
It looks good.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's always, like I said, I can really see things when I, like on the monitor. Boy, I'm telling you, I was hoping to get some painterly effect out of that. I probably would have, but the gray was too close to this. When I put that first line down with Black Magic, it was too close to that, and I really wanted something that was gonna like push the color forward a little bit more, and I don't think that would have done it. So I don't mind it. This is actually more black than I had anticipated. I would rather that than to have that gray that went down the first time.
AG says it looks good.
Thank you, AG. I'm probably going to put the signature down here after I get a scan of it. So I think that's going to do it for today. And I think for those of you just joining and for those of you that are maybe watching this on a replay, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Hit the notification bell. Thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. It's not blood. Looks like dry blood. And leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Ask a question, whatever. I'll see how fast I can get back to you. Usually it's pretty quick. It's easy to reply on a phone. Romulo says he's excited for the new movie, just can't get over the face. It's a little too rough looking. Perlman, you're right. We were talking about the movie a little bit earlier, and so far, I think the overall reaction has been a bit flat to the new movie overall. But maybe they can work some Hollywood magic before it's released, and it'll save itself somehow. Because right now, it doesn't look like it's headed towards a huge success, which would be a shame. So, thank you, Dr. Kaz. I think my schedule. I hate when I put that there because it looks like. You see that, Ron? Looks like it's. Hey. I think what I'm going to do is I won't be streaming mornings again till after the holidays. January 1st, is that on a Monday or is that Tuesday also?
Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll pick up, you know what I'd like to do is get back to like the 5 in a row. So I need like to get to 35 for those 2 that I missed. So maybe I'll do 2 in the new year. on that week. Just come up with 2, maybe do one a Tuesday, maybe a Thursday, Friday, and then start back that next Monday, which will be should be the week of Ron to do. But after Christmas, I will be streaming. It might be afternoons on some other paintings. I got a Thanos I need to do. I'm going to be doing an Iron Man, a bucket head for Ron. So I will probably be doing those live, and maybe some other stuff that comes in, or maybe just some quick sketches or some other type of artwork. So keep your notifications on. And if you do miss it live, I know some of you are going to be traveling, then you can always catch the replay. So I appreciate y'all coming out, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone. But I'll probably see you before the New Year. Now I guess I can put that blue tape back there. And yeah, thanks for making it out each morning. Everybody have safe travels, and I will see you when y'all return and when I get back on. Take care. Ron, you want to say bye? You out of here?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
All right. We're out of here for now.